What if I told you that I know exactly when the next housing market crash will happen and that it's due to just this one thing? You probably would think I'm crazy, but if I then said that this successfully predicted the property crashes in 1990 and 2008, you might reconsider and wonder what this one thing is. An article on This Is Money. The theory that there is a pattern of property price ups and downs that continually repeats itself. The cycle was identified by Fred Harrison, a British author and economic commentator. He accurately predicted the two most recent housing market crashes. To come up with his theory, Harrison analysed hundreds of years worth of data from the US, UK, Australia and Japan. Now immediately I'm drawn to this. The idea here that there's an 18-year cycle in the property market is intriguing. So of course he's looking at historical data, but it's not necessarily representative of what might happen in the future. According to Nationwide's latest index, annual house prices are down 3.8%, while Halifax says prices are down 2.4% year on year. Despite the current downward trend, Harrison sees this nothing more as a blip before prices once again continue hurtling upwards. He also argues amid the backdrop of higher inflation, property will be seen as a safe haven. What's not to say that we're already in a property crash? Well, hang on, prices have only fallen by 3.8% according to Nationwide, so how's that a crash? And then we look at the overall level of inflation. Inflation is starting to come down now, but it has been at near double digits for quite some time, meaning in real terms, these prices of these properties have actually fallen into correction territory. That is not necessarily a great hedge against inflation. If more landlords sell up, their sales will help to restore buoyancy to the property market this year, but do nothing to balance supply with demand, he says. It would merely restrict the choice of prospective tenants, thereby pushing up rents, rendering tenants desperate, some of whom will decide to take out 35-year mortgages and squeeze their budgets, thereby helping to push up prices. Another key factor that will propel prices higher in Harrison's view is that the next year's general election. Property affordability will remain a vote-determining issue. He says with elections coming in 2024 and 25 in the UK and USA, governments will jack up the money flow and policies to ensure their trusted supporters will continue to vote for them. And there's a lot of people talking about the next housing market crash, but we need to understand that the government will intervene. They're going to take measures that prevent a wide economic collapse, like they did in the pandemic with the stamp duty cuts, pausing mortgage payments and allowing landlords to freeze their mortgage. They might do something of a similar idea again. Homeowners are a large portion of people. If they want to win their vote, then they're going to have to support the homeowners. What about the renters? What about those renting property? So they're looking to transition from renting to actually buying a property in the UK. The renters are going to be supportive of what the government push that supports homeowners. Banks as well may look to freeze mortgage payments for a few months because it's probably better for them to have people that are able to pay off for the longer term duration of their mortgage rather than be concerned about the next few months and having to foreclose on the property. Harrison does not paint a rosy picture for the latter stages of the decade. Instead, he expects the crash will result in a recession that will eclipse the events of 2008. In response to this lethal mix of events, some people will head for the hills, literally speaking, to escape the coastal floods. That will push up prices in those locations, but not by enough to cushion the general collapse of the housing market. House price crashes are a cyclical motion. Even here in this article, it discusses this 18-year cycle. But as a homeowner, you're probably not getting your property valued that frequently unless you're looking to sell up in the near-term future. That said, imagine you have a neighbor that stands outside your door. He's really interested in your property and he's screaming from outside the window, "I want to buy your house for £300,000. The next day he comes along and he offers you £315,000. And it keeps going up, right? You're looking at this and you're going, wow, the neighbor has just offered me £340,000 for my house. That's fantastic. The next day he comes along and then offers you £290,000. Well, what's gone wrong here? Suddenly the value's gone down. Why has it gone down? And I think that's the point. The housing market can be irrational at times. And you as a homeowner have no real reason to be immediately selling unless you have financial problems that you're facing. I would sit tight. I would ensure that I had a good financial safety net, the likes of a strong emergency fund that means if something goes wrong, let's say with my income streams, that I'm still able to cover the mortgage for the time period that I need to therefore find another job. You're working just a 9-to-5 job and you're going, I can't make ends meet. Well, why not add another income stream to the mix? What's stopping you from working a Saturday morning something at a cafe. Perhaps as a homeowner, if you have another room, the rent-a-room scheme lets you earn up to a threshold of £7,500 per year, tax-free, from letting out furnished accommodation in your home. That's an easy extra income stream. You've just got to put up with the fact that you could be living with someone else. I'm going to move back in with my mum and dad. I'm going to save some extra money. I'm going to contribute towards the housing costs, help them out with their mortgage, and therefore come back at it with a new strategy and buy a house when the prices are a bit cooler or the mortgage rates have come down a bit in line. While we've been discussing the housing market collapse, the banks have been winning a battle against the people over this one thing. If you'd like to know what this one thing is and how it impacts your future, then click the video right here.